There's a statuary standoff unfolding between the state of Wisconsin and a branch of the U.S. military. For more than 30 years, this statue of a badger has been on display in the state capitol in Madison. Problem is, it's property of the United States Navy, and it wants the badger back to be displayed at the USS Wisconsin in Norfolk, Virginia. CBS News congressional correspondent Kris Van Cleave takes us inside this badger battle.
The USS Wisconsin is no stranger to strife. Her 9 massive 16-inch guns pounded Japan during World War II, and the battleship sailed into the fight during the First Gulf War. But now she finds herself in a battle over a badger-sized piece of history that's pitting this gray lady against the Wisconsin State House.
It did not surprise me at all that this has become quite a thing of contention and that people are pretty upset about it.
The historian Erica Janik is talking about is this statue of a badger that features the state motto, "Forward." It belongs to the Navy, but since 1988, the statue has sat outside the Wisconsin governor's office in the state capitol, where visitors rub its nose for luck.
There are generations of people who remember going to the Capitol, touching the badger's nose. They just have this connection to it. And so it wasn't surprising at all that the state doesn't really want to give it back.
Badgers are a big deal in Wisconsin. In the state's early days, miners digging in the ground were compared to badgers. It became the state animal, the namesake of the University of Wisconsin football team and its mascot, Bucky the Badger. The Badger was part of the original USS Wisconsin, but that ship was scrapped after World War I. This is the new USS Wisconsin, built during World War II, the very last battleship the U.S. Navy ever built, and it could be the Badger's next home. The statue was crafted by a Milwaukee sculptor more than a century ago from melted-down cannonballs taken from Cuba during the Spanish-American War. When the World War I-era Wisconsin was scrapped, the Badger moved to the Naval Academy before being loaned to the state of Wisconsin for a temporary exhibit. 3 decades later, Wisconsin lawmakers are in rare bipartisan agreement on where this badger should burrow.
It's state capitol in Madison, without question.
In Wisconsin.
Were you surprised by the outcry in Wisconsin?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. But I totally understand it. This is a source of pride for the Badger State.
Stephen Kirkland runs the Nauticus Museum in Norfolk, Virginia, home to the USS Wisconsin, now a floating exhibit that hosts more than 370,000 visitors a year.
We want to use the statue not just to tell the story of the Badger and the statue and the history behind it, but tell the story of this battleship and its heritage and its namesake and the state it's named for.
The Navy approved the museum's application to exhibit the statue. They plan to display it prominently here in the wardroom, a key stopping point for tours. But at the urging of Wisconsin's congressional delegation, the Naval Academy Museum extended the loan to the state for 2 more years.
I can't imagine where it would get more use. If you don't have Bucky Badger as your mascot, I don't know if it would be as popular in any other place in the country.
Every year I want the Packers to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, of course. I'd love for the statue to stay permanently.
But the Navy says they don't do forever loans, so this badger is likely heading to the floating Wisconsin sooner or later. Would you be open to a shared custody agreement? A den here and a den in Wisconsin?
Absolutely, absolutely. We want to do this prudently and with the greatest of respect. You know, the old adage, don't poke the bear. No one ever told us don't poke the badger.
For now, a stalemate in the badger battle of the 2 Wisconsins. For CBS This Morning Saturday, Kris Van Cleave, Norfolk.
Why can't you just build an exact replica?
Yes. Not the same if you're
And they both have, well, I guess it's
same.
tough to find melted cannonballs
That too, yeah.
these days.
It would seem like an awfully heavy thing to put on a battleship. I don't know.
It's cool.
It is cool.